Good evening and welcome to Front Row Racing. We're here tonight in Bahrain for round 3 of the World Series Reserves. My name's Alex, although most of you will know me as Curly, and I will be your broadcaster this evening. With the commentary box with me is Nightwalker and F1 Roadrunner. Gentlemen, welcome to the commentary box. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you.
And Roadrunner, got you here as well?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent stuff. All right, so going into tonight's event, a tough race in Bahrain. We saw a pretty interesting race last time out in China. So we're going to have a quick rundown of the teams. Roadrunner is going to let us know who is driving.
Okay, we've got ourselves in Mercedes. We've got X Sindel. In Ferrari, Shumi Garcia. In the Red Bull, we've got Alain Montaigne and Box 190. In Williams, we've got Drew and Fletcher Boy. In Sahara Force India, we have got Uzi. In Toro Rosso, we've got SPL, Mari Kekic and Slim Bodud. In Haas, we've got Favre and RDB. In McLaren, we've got Twist Royalty. And in Sauber, we've got Conzo and Calzo.
Fantastic stuff. Well, we started a little bit late, so let's just get the drivers straight over to the track right now. So myself and Roadrunner will hit spectate. Nightwalker, you can pick any car that you choose. And let's get them readied up and over to the grid. So, Bahrain. This is a track with a lot of long straights, particularly high tire wear. We saw a little bit of that last night. I'll come to you first, Roadrunner. When you're coming to this track, what things are you focusing on? I saw that you drove around here last night. What did you think about when you're going into that race, and also what did you take away from it?
Making the first corner in one piece. That's the first thing. It's a very tight first corner, heavy braking zone, a short straight to it. And managing tires, because as you said, this track is a tire eater, so it can go either a one stop or a two stop, but a one stop you need to be very, very nice on your tires, especially the rear ones, since we have multiple traction zones.
Nightwalker, anything you feel needs to be added to that? What are you looking for when you're coming to Bahrain?
I think the worry is going into the downhill braking zone, going into turn 10. That can catch a few drivers out, and sometimes you can hit the advertising hoardings on the side of the track if you get the braking point a little bit wrong.
Yeah, we saw a lot of drivers struggling with that last night. Easy spot to lock up the brakes. A very difficult double left-hander. I would say one of the hardest braking zones on the entire calendar. So these guys, I mean, this is the World Series Reserves, and for those of you who don't know, this is assist allowed racing, so ABS will be available for those drivers who choose to use it, and that might help a little bit through turns 9 and 10 there. But yeah, I mean, it really is a difficult corner. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on setup, Nightwalker. I mean, this circuit, it's got 3 very long straights, but that middle sector is quite technical. Do you think low wings is the way to go here, or would you maybe focus a little bit more on higher wings and qualifying pace?
It's a hard one to call. I'd usually run wings of 5.3 because you don't want too high a wing where you're losing speed on the straights, but you still want a bit of downforce going into the corners. So it's going to be a tricky one for the drivers to get that set up spot on.
Yeah, it definitely is a hard track to set your car up for. So much that you've got to take into account, obviously that middle sector, but also the long straights, and then you've got to think about tire wear. I mean, that's got to be some sort of consideration when you're building that setup, that you've got to keep those tires alive, particularly the rear tires. As we're seeing some drivers coming out on track right now, and I mean, I'll ask you, Roadrunner, you were commentating with me in China. Which reserve drivers tonight will you be looking at to perhaps have a shot at the win?
Well, Slim Bodud will be one. He showed good pace in China. Alain Montaigne also good. We'll see. Maybe we've got a dark horse today. You never know.
Yeah, we had, well, Slimbo was our winner last time out in China. Our winner in the first race was Twist Royalty, so I think it'll be interesting to see who we have between those two tonight as we're watching the drivers on their outlaps right now. I'll just bring up what tyres that people have on so we can have a little look. So everybody out on the super softs apart from Drew, he's gone a little bit differently. He's gone for the softs. You can see Cal's will have a little think about the softs for a moment there. Yeah, I mean, I want your opinion on the tires of this track. You know, the softs, well, super soft, softs, and mediums. I mean, what do you think? Are the super softs the best tire to go for qualifying, or would you go for something harder?
Well, the softs, the delta between the softs and the super softs is not that big. So maybe if you go to the softs for quality and do one stop in the race, softs, mediums, that can help you if you don't have if you're not fast on the straights. So that can be a compromise you can do.
All right, I'm on board with Twist Royalty. He was our race 1 winner in the World Series Reserves. Take you on a lap with him around Bahrain, coming along the main straight DRS Open. And you're looking at for turn 1, braking just before 100 meters. Bring that car right towards the left-hand side of the track. Get it tucked into the apex. Good job there from Twist. Difficult traction zone, that one. It's very easy to lose the rear of the car through there, but Twist has negotiated that very well. Keep the car to the left-hand side, 100 meters. He's done a very good job of getting that slowed down, clipping the apex perfectly through there into this middle sector now, and this is where you're going to need a little bit of downforce, and Twist using a lot of curb there. And has he backed out of the lap? I think he has. Oh, perhaps not, perhaps not. I wasn't too sure if he took just a little bit too much curb on the inside there and perhaps invalidated it, but he does seem to be continuing on in his lap, running a little bit wide on the exit through 10, and that was the difficult braking zone we were talking about. That will cost him time all the way down this little center straight here, the second DRS zone, into the high-speed section of the track, and again Twist is run wide there. So yeah, perhaps a little bit rusty at this circuit. It is his first lap in the session. This is another very difficult corner. It's really there are very few markers around the track to let you know where to brake and turn in. Although this is the series reserves, we will have some of these drivers making use of the racing line, and that definitely makes that corner easier. As we'll Twist has he has abandoned this lap. So yeah, I think that a mistake a little earlier on in the fast left-right cost him the opportunity there.
We've got Farthburg on the mediums. Interesting.
That's a strange call from Farth, but medium compound tires in qualifying as we watch Fletcher Boy, a new driver here in the series reserves. He's just gone provisional pole 29.4. Nightwalker, I believe that you know Fletcher Boy seems like a really solid lap first up from him.
Yeah, he's quite good with his quali pace, and especially in the race as well, he can control his race quite well. So if he qualifies top 3, he's got a good shout for a race victory on his debut. That's
definitely interesting to hear. High praises coming out of Nightwalker. We'll see if Fletcher is able to live up to those as I'm watching Ali Muntean coming towards the line. And he goes P3, 30 flat right there. So yeah, seeing these drivers dipping into the 29s already. Some good times right here. Nightwalker, I'm just going to double check with you on the weather. I think this is maybe a little bit redundant in this lap. This track, but I'm assuming that we've also got a dry race, yeah?
Yes, it's going to be baking hot as usual.
Just double checking. Don't want to get caught out. I've never seen it rain here, but who knows? Hopefully at some point we do get some rain here in Bahrain. As long as it's not on my race next week, I'll be happy. So yeah, most of the drivers coming into the pits at the moment, but as far as backed out of a lap, I think he's backed out of that one.
Well, you might think that it's a hot race, it's a hot track since it's in the desert, but you remember it's towards sunset and towards a night race, so track temperatures will be dropping drastically toward the end of the quali. So tire pressures, managing those will be the key to get a good lap in, especially in sector 2.
Yeah, this is something with F1 2017 that we've seen consistently. Oh, who's that off? It's Fletcher.
Boy, a bit of contact with Shumi Garcia, and is out of the session.
Oh dear, well that's not what we want to see in qualifying. Fletcher looking very strong there, and I was going to have Nightwalker go over one of his laps later on, but it seems that I've missed that opportunity, so that's unfortunate. But he's got a good time on the board. Hopefully for him it will be enough to keep him up near the front. Yeah, very unfortunate to have that happen in qualifying. And it was just about to get on to how strong the track evolution is, not just in this game. I mean, it is very powerful in this game at every track, but I'd say especially at Bahrain with what Roadrunner was bringing up there about the track temperatures coming down. That just makes the track faster and faster, so you really want to be out in qualifying those final minutes to be able to get the absolute most out of the track.
I'm just watching Konzo at the moment. He's coming up to the last corners, and he's on the medium tyres. Looking like he's going to set a decent time considering the tyre he's on. And he's aborting it. He's into the pits.
Yeah, although Konzo is one of our series drivers, actually the reigning champion in the World Series. So yeah, I'd expect some very strong times from him. Just looking for a reserve driver. Looks like they're on a lap right now. Perhaps Twist Royalty again, although we were on board with him earlier on. That looks like a cool down lap as well from Ali Montine. So yeah, I mean, if you guys thinking of strategy in this, we saw in the race last night that I was Caribbean crush one of the championship drivers, but he did pull off a one-stop super soft mediums. I mean, would that be something that perhaps you guys might try in a race here, or do you think that strategy is a real risk?
Personally, I'd probably go for the two-stop strategy. It'd probably work out about 5-6 seconds quicker than the one-stop, but you can have a bit more pace to tackle those that maybe alter their strategy during the race.
Yeah, we have seen that a couple times this season, and just as we're waiting for a couple of the drivers to come back out of the pits for their final runs in qualifying in that sort of final minute or two, I believe that Roadrunner, you've got a question of the day for us this evening.
Brilliant, right. Sorry, Twist Royalty with a 1:29.066 cracking lap from him there.
Fantastic stuff from him.
I think we're going to hit the 128s. I think
so. Yeah, I think so. Definitely, we're going to be down into those 128s. All right, Roadrunner, let's hear that question of the day. Come on, what do we got this week?
Question of the day. I think everybody heard the news that Alfa Romeo is back in F1, teaming up with Sauber. So it's going to be Alfa Romeo Sauber. Bringing up the subject of Alfa Romeo. When was the last time Alfa Romeo as a works team got a podium? Which year is that? I think Googling will not help you guys because it's not easy to get it. So if you're an F1 fan and you've read F1 history, I think you're gonna be able to answer that.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one. Be interesting to see hear some of the guesses for that. I'm not sure. Some of our drivers, they'll be quite young. They won't know perhaps too much about Alfa Romeo's time in Formula One. But yeah, I'm looking for a reserve driver on an out lap now. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a couple guys just warming themselves up for a lap, and Roadrunner, when you're on an out lap, warming up your tires, specifically, what are you looking to do to prepare yourself for that final qualifying lap in the final moments of the session?
Keeping my rear tires under control and avoiding lockups and corners in a warm-up lap, because that some flat spots might ruin your cornering. So yeah, bring up the tires to proper temp and keeping them in that window and maintaining my wheels.
Alright, I'm going to hop on board with Shumi Garcia for his final qualifying lap. We just got over a minute left. This will be his final run in the session, currently sitting with a 29.4. He's got to improve by just a little bit more than half of a tenth to get up past Fletcher Boy into P2. They had a little bit of an incident earlier on in the session, so perhaps we'll hear a little bit about that later on in the race. Looked a little bit out of shape through the first sector, but that turn 4 is good. Hard on the power there to get a good launch out of that corner as you come through the fast right and left. It's important not to run wide. Difficult braking zone down into the hairpin. This traction is crucial. He handles that well now. Most difficult corner, I would say, on the circuit. The double left-hander. We see a inside left lock-up there, and he's done a reasonable job of getting the power down. Again, a crucial traction zone. It's one of the main things about this track is making sure that you're good on that rear, well, good with the rear grip. The fast left and right, this is completely flat out in these 2017 cars. Find your braking point for the penultimate corner. He's just misses apex a little bit there. That will cost him slightly, and it's probably going to cost him all the way down this straight. As we were watching him come into the final corner, it's easy to throw a lap away here, but he's ran maybe a little bit deep into that corner. That will cost him on the way to the line, but this has been a solid lap from Shumi Garcia. What's it going to be? It is a 1:29.2. He puts himself up into second place, but he's not quite able to match Twist Royalty. You guys following some other laps right now. Unfortunately, I'm unable to. Unfortunately, I'm unable to move the cameras, so you just have to give it by ear.
Yeah, Alan Montine is in the back straight opening DRS. He's done a good job in that braking zone in turn 10. Going into the left-hander, nicely done. Nicely done. A bit deep in on the exit curve. He's gonna do it. He's doing fine. I think he's gonna maintain his 4th position unless he does a very good job in the last turn in the braking. Let's see if he can do it. Yeah, nicely done. Oh, wrong gear. He downshifted instead of upshifting. I think he lost it there.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. I will say I've done that a couple of times myself on this game where you maybe go down just one gear too many in a corner and the rear end of the car snaps on you. So, our final qualifying positions in our grid for the race. We've got Twist Royalty and Shumi Garcia on the front row. Fletcher Boy only with a banker lap, but that's good enough for P3. Ali Montine up in 4th place. Then we've got Yuzi, Farthba, Drew and Box, the final guys to set times. And then we have a group of the World Series drivers, basically all of them further down there without setting a time. Although Slimbo Dude has decided that he'll join those series drivers in not setting a time. Possible strategy thoughts from those drivers. They might want to start on the softs or the mediums. It's a little bit of a gamble, but if you can make it through turn 1 okay from the middle or the back of the grid, that can set you up for an advantage later on in the race.
Yeah, it might, but you're gonna have to follow lots of cars and do some overtakes. That will cook your front tires.
Yeah, although this is, I'd say this is one of the few tracks on the calendar at the moment that overtaking is reasonably possible. I mean, we've seen, I think we saw particularly at Australia, at the races we had there, that overtaking was very, very difficult for the drivers. They find it hard to follow and hard to pass. So I think that you have to be a fair amount quicker here, but it is possible to get past if you have the pace. As we ready yourselves for 5 lights here in Bahrain World Series Reserves, round 3. And it's lights out, and it's a fantastic launch off the line for Twist Royalty. He's got a brilliant start down towards the first corner. It is quite a long run into the heavy braking zone. Shumi Garcia coming under pressure from cars on the inside. We've got a Haas going all the way up from, it looks like 4th or 5th. Who is that? Shumi Garcia losing the place in his fourth, but that's made an incredible start right there. There was some contact a little bit further back as Shumi Garcia now coming under pressure from Ali Montine in the Red Bull, who has a little look down into turn 4, but he's unable to get the move done, and that's opened up an opportunity for Fletcher, who's dropped from was it P3 down to P5 on the grid. So not a good start for Fletcher in his first race of front row racing, as we've got Uzi having a little look up the inside on Fletcher, but he's not quite able to make that move stick either. You guys are maybe looking a little further back. What did you guys see off the start there?
It's a bit tight in the first lap, so lots of things to look at. I'm looking at the Williams of Fletcher Boy again. He went a bit deep to the braking zone, and that Force India is right on his tail. Will he pull a move on the straights? DRS is still not open. It will open in the third lap, I think. But he's trying to avoid the dirty air going into the straight, and he almost got his rear. Chris Torres sets the fastest lap, and I think Fletcher Boy has some decent space behind him, and Uzi now is under pressure from Hindle, a series driver. That camera angle is... Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board with Hindle right now as he goes around the outside of Uzi. Uzi losing this position. Uzi was a series driver in the last season but took a little break. He's now back into the reserves to try and get himself a seat in the series once again. Having a little battle here with Hindle, but Hindle on those soft compound tires able to get the position. He's moved up a long way. But I think the real fast starter out of the reserve drivers is Farthba, who is up 4 places. He's coming under a lot of pressure from the Ferrari of Schumi Garcia, just a few tenths behind him, and we can't see the Farthba is on those soft compound tires. So yeah, I mean, he went from sort of middle of the pack up to second place on a set of soft compound tires. Very aggressive into turn 1 from him, and it's paid off.
I think he has the upper hand. Schumi Garcia needs to pull a move fast, else he will be stuck behind him, and his strategy will be hurt drastically. Farthba for sure. Oh, and he wants deep. I think Schumi Garcia's putting move. Yes, he takes him
I think
side by side into the left corner. He took it.
Yeah, Schumi Garcia just getting himself ahead there. Mistake from Farthba costing him that P2, and now, well, Schumi's going to have to defend along the main straight as Twist Royalty is setting a pretty quick pace. Hindle matches that on the soft compound tires. So Schumi, he's only a couple of tenths ahead of Farthba, but he does have enough of a gap. He's got some good straight line speed. There's front wing everywhere at turn 1. Who does that belong to? I think it belongs to Farthba. Yeah. He's missing half of his wing, and that is, well, that's a huge blow for him because he's on these soft compound tires. He was planning on running long into the race, and now he's going to make a very difficult decision of does he pit, or is he going to go for the well, he's just going to stay out and hope that it doesn't affect him too much. Looking at the understeer he's got through these high-speed corners, I think he's going to be running for the pits now. So Ali Montine is having a move on the inside, leaves Farthba leaving him a lot of space there. Ali trying to get a better traction zone than him, but not able to. Farthba's going deep though. That was, yeah, spotted that one. Ali Montine was just waiting for that. Maybe seen the wing damage for Farthba at turn 1 there, and knew that he was going to have a lot of troubles going into that corner.
I think he can do it mediums to the end. I think.
From lap 3?
You never know. You never know.
If you can find me someone that can take a set of mediums 26 laps here, yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say what I would say about that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that one, Roadrunner. Maybe you know something that I don't. As Hindle up the inside on Ali Montine now, and this has actually opened up an opportunity for Fletcher to make a move. He's in behind both cars in this slipstream. Looks to have some phenomenal straight line speed. He's already alongside Ali Montine into turn 1. He's going around all the way around the outside, and now has the inside lines for turn 2. Just squeezes Ali a little bit there, but that's fair enough. And Fletcher is up into P4. Nightwalker, who are you on board with at the moment?
I'm just checking out Farthba. He's had to pit due to wing damage. He's put the super soft tyres on, so that will mean an extra stop coming. So that's looking like his race compromised. But been impressed by Ali Montine. He seems to pressure most drivers really well and seeing if they can make a mistake.
Yeah, he's certainly putting Fletcher under a lot of pressure at the moment. Having just lost that position, he wants it back desperately. And I had a little look into the hairpin there, but not quite close enough to get the move done. So, yeah, I mean, we've been, I have to say, I've been impressed with Ali Montine's racing so far this season. He's done a great job, and he's really putting Fletcher under pressure now. Well, as well, Farthba has just come out of the pits right behind Konzo. Konzo on the medium compound tires, Farthba on the super soft, so I'm sure the Farthba is looking to get past. However, we do have a move here. Ali Muntean trying to go up the inside of Fletcher. They're side by side coming down towards the final corner, and I think here, Ali Muntean is ahead. However, I think that Fletcher is going to get the DRS, and that may play into his hands as they come along the straight, although, no, he's not going for the pits. Had a little, looks as if he was nudging a little bit that way, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to stay right behind Ali Muntean, get that slipstream. Ali Muntean goes defensive to the inside, and we're going to see Fletcher try and go around the outside of turn 1 again. He did it on the last lap. Can he do it again? And he's got the inside line again for turn 2, and yes, he has gotten the move done there. Although Fletcher has picked up a 3-second time penalty, we saw him just pushing the track limits a little bit too far in the middle of that overtake at turn 2 and running wide at turn 3. So, yeah, I think in his... he's been so keen to get past Ali Muntean here, he's cost himself a 3-second time penalty.
Wide M2 are battling, the Force India is catching them, which is hurting both Fletcher Boy and Ali Muntean's race as well, because they're battling over a position where they're actually falling backwards into the rest of the field.
Yeah, Uzi just playing a patient game here. I think he's quite happy to let these two in front of him battle. He's 1.2 seconds behind at the moment, and he'll be hoping that these two will just keep battling just for a little bit longer so that he can get within that DRS range and start planning a move for himself. But once again, we've got Ali Muntean looking down the inside in the penultimate corner on Fletcher Boy, and he is going to have a look, but he's not quite close enough this time round. He hasn't quite pulled a move off. So are we going to see a little bit of strategy here, or will he go for a move into the final corner? He has a look. I think he's just pressuring Fletcher there. He's not actually gone for the move, and now he will have DRS and the slipstream coming down the main straights. Big advantage here for Ali Muntean as he's going to pull to the inside. Fletcher's got to find something. I think he's going to have to do something special to defend this position, but he's very, very late on the brakes. Ali Muntean using a lot of curb. They're giving each other a lot of space, and that's good to see. Ali Muntean yet to find a way past. It seems to me that Fletcher has some really good straight line speed, but here we go. The Force India of Uzi, he's just catching up to this battle now. He's within the DRS.
Fletcher Boy has the right end plate off. He has a wing damage. I think that's a yellow wing.
Oh, as Ali Muntean has left the track, gone a little bit too wide there. Uzi's just caught up a little bit, only 5 attempts behind him now.
So yeah, this perhaps explains why Ali Muntean has looked so much quicker through the second sector, as we have lost Farthba from the session, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, Ali Muntean looking a lot quicker than Fletcher through that middle sector, and we can see that this group is really falling back from Hindle, who passed Fletcher and Ali Muntean a couple of laps ago. He's off in chase of the leading reserve drivers, Shumi and Twist Royalty, who that gap has been coming down a little bit. But once again, we've got Ali Muntean looking up the inside, and I think at this point, I mean, he doesn't seem able to really get past Fletcher. Fletcher's so fast on this main straight. He'll have another go here, but is he at this point where he perhaps needs to think about strategy and maybe getting this move done in the pits? It's worth thinking about. Are either of them going to go for it? No, they don't. They stay out. What is Uzi going to do? Uzi does go to the pits. He's going for an undercut on this pair. So he's taken that move, keeping himself close, and then making the move happen in the pits. I think that's smart from Uzi. But we're watching these two go side by side again at turns 1 and 2, and Fletcher, he's going so deep into turn 1 that he's leaving himself no room to be able to take turn 2 there. He's picking penalties up 4 as Ali Muntean goes down the inside at turn 4. Is he going to be able to make this move stick? He really needs to if he wants to get on with his race. He knows Fletcher has some damage. I'm sure he's worked that out by now, but Ali Muntean is through. He's got to pull away. He's got to get out of the DRS and start getting after the leading pairs. But this is for effectively the podium of the reserves race, as Hindle is one of our World Series drivers. So yeah, Ali Muntean effectively on the podium right now.
I think Fletcher took a very wrong gamble here. He should have put it like a lap earlier. And went to the softs, then another set of softs. It can be done.
Yeah, just seeing him staying out. I mean, we're 7 laps out now. If he's not pitted on the last lap, or even, I mean, you could possibly even go on lap 5. Does this hint at him attempting a one-stop strategy tonight? I mean, if he's staying out, I would have thought if he's on a 2-stop, he would have pitted by now. Surely, especially with the wing damage.
with the wing damage, two stop is a must. You can't go like to lap 12 with a damaged wing. You'll hurt your chances in the race getting a decent result.
We've got Twist Royalty into the pits
as Fletcher Boy continues on.
He's got to be going for that one stop, surely. He must be doing that. I believe that was Alimentine picking up a 5-second stop-go penalty for spitting in the pit lane. Am I right there?
Yeah, that is correct, and he's put on the soft tyres as well.
Okay, that's a two-stop strategy for Alimentine, and also Twist Royalty, who is our leading World Series reserve driver. He's been in the pits, and he's back out on a set of the soft compound tyres. That's a two-stop strategy for Twist Royalty as well. We'll see what Shumi Garcia will do, but he's coming under pressure from Hindle, and Shumi Garcia, what's he going to do here? I mean, does he want to fight for this and fight for a little bit of pride with one of our series drivers, or would you just let him go and focus on the battle with Twist Royalty? I don't know. I think that maybe at this point he should recognize that Hindle is quicker and just let him go. He's not racing him.
Check Alimentine. He's under pressure from two cars, from a Sauber of Konzo and Uzi.
Yeah, so Konzo on these medium tires, I believe he had some kind of incident earlier on in the race. Yeah, he has made a pit stop already, so Konzo's been on those mediums for a little while, and I mean, yeah, we know a lot about Konzo, reigning World Series champion. He's very quick, so it'll be hard for Alimentine perhaps to keep him behind, but Uzi is now stuck behind this pair. He's also gone for a set of the sauce. He attempted that undercut, but he wasn't quite able to make it work. Did you see when he came out, was he stuck behind Konzo that entire lap?
Yeah, he was. When he came out the pit, Alimentine was about 6 tenths ahead of Konzo and Uzi got kind of caught up in a bit of a queuing system going into turn 1.
On board here with Twist Royalty, he's having a look at Drew into turn 1. He needs to get this move done. It's crucial for his race if he wants to keep up with Shumi Garcia, and he does in fact get the move done through turn 2, but he's very wide at turn 3 there. I'm not sure if he will have picked up a warning for that one, but Twist Royalty is up into... Wow, wait, hold on a moment. Drew getting very ambitious on a dive bomb there. I don't think that one was quite going to work. A little bit of a desperate dive from Drew. So, yeah, Twist Royalty up into 4th, and he's really got to put the hammer down now. I mean, he's got to make this undercut work against Shumi Garcia, because we made it to lap 9. Shumi Garcia's been on these super sauce from the start. I'm assuming he's on a one-stop at this point.
Yeah, for sure. If he can take his tires to lap 11, he can put the mediums to the end.
Yeah, I mean, Uzi going for that undercut on Alimentine, taking a gamble there, and it's not paid off because he's gotten stuck behind Konzo, who is on old mediums, and, you know, Konzo's someone we'd expect to be very, very quick, but, you know, perhaps he's just struggling a little bit on those tires right now, and Uzi is climbing all over the back of him, but can't seem to get past. It might be that Konzo's running low wings, but, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, this is crucial for Uzi.
Shumi Garcia made a late call to go into the pits then, so maybe he was thinking about carrying on, but he's in the pits currently and he's putting on the medium tyres.
So lap 9, medium tyres, 20 laps to go to the end. It's possible. We did see it last night from one of the championship drivers. So yeah, Shumi Garcia, he's taking the gamble and attempting the one stop.
He's gonna maintain his 4th position, so he's got a chance. Because Fletcher Boy is still on a damaged wing, or he pitted. No, he's still on a damaged wing, heavily worn, super softs. I don't know what he's trying to do. Something crazy, I guess.
As I am watching Drew come out of the pits, we'll just ask you guys, I'll ask you, Nightwalker, what tires is it showing for him? Because we have had a slight graphical glitch on occasions. Is it showing mediums or super softs on your screen?
Yeah, he's on the medium tyres. He did serve a stop-go penalty as well before the pit stop.
Okay, those tires are very, very red on my screen, but that is a glitch, and it is correct on the timing right there. So for anybody watching the stream, he is indeed on the medium compounded tires. That will be a one-stop strategy for Drew. I'm assuming that we will see Fletcher in this lap as well for a set of mediums and a new front wing. He's really dragged those out, those super softs out, especially with wing damage. I've always found that when you have a little bit of wing damage, it's much, much harder to maintain your tires.
Well, Twist Royalty is catching Fletcher Boy massively on this lap. Fletcher Boy needs to pit this lap.
Yeah, Twist really running down that that gap there, and we do see Twist pull. Not Twist. We do see Fletcher pull off, and he's sped into the pit lane. So as well as having to get a new front wing, he's going to have to wait 5 seconds. Although it might not be at this pit stop. No, it will be added to his time at the end of the race.
He's not changing the wing.
He's not changed the
Fletcher
wing either.
Is continuing with the damaged wing.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's missing so much of it. I mean, if it was perhaps just one small piece, but no, that's a huge amount of wing to be missing. Seem to have yellow flags in the second sector somewhere, but I'm not sure what that was for. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting decision. But the other thing to note as well is that Twist Royalty, on that two-stop strategy, on these soft compound tires, has pulled out a huge gap on Shumi Garcia. I believe it was around about 3.5, 4 seconds when Twist pitted. It's now looking, well, I mean, that's a 10-second gap. So, yeah, Twist has really put his foot down in the last couple of laps.
I think Twist has had a very calm race today. A couple of challenges, but a very commanding drive from him.
Yeah, well, the real question is he going to be able to make up an entire pit stop on these soft compound tires, or will he have to get past Shumi Garcia at the end of the race? Assuming that he's able to catch him, of course. I mean, you know, he's roughly 10 seconds ahead of Shumi, as we are watching Calzo make a move around the outside of, I believe that's turn 14, the long right-hander, and he's just gone straight around the outside of Fletcher Boy with that damaged wing is costing him a huge amount of time. And I think Fletcher has made a critical error here in not, well, maybe not pitting earlier and changing onto a two-stop, but especially not getting that wing changed. I mean, he may have had it set on auto and the team hasn't fixed it. That is something that some drivers have complained about on this game, whereas if it's set to the automatic wing change, it won't actually do it unless your front wing damage is red. So that may have been the case, but yeah, I mean, he's struggling out there right now.
I think Shumi Garcia's race with Twist Royalty, and Shumi Garcia is going to the end on those mediums. Now, with a 10-second gap, and if you can pull a couple of seconds more, and Twist Royalty will put the super soft definitely towards the end, he's gonna be super fast, like a second and a half faster than those mediums. I think we're gonna see a nice fight towards the end between those two guys.
Yeah, and that's even assuming that Shumi Garcia can make it to the end on those mediums. I mean, it's 20 laps. It's a very long time to go on one set of tires. So, I mean, we did see that last night, but the driver who did that was Caribbean Crush, one of our championship drivers. He was right on the limit in terms of tire wear. He was at 70% at the end of the race. So, yeah, I mean, this is a real gamble for Shumi. But what's important now for Shumi, and we can see this in the times, he's maintaining it at roughly about 10 seconds behind Twist Royalty. He needs to do that. He can't afford to lose much more time to Twist. Otherwise, Twist will come out far too close to him, and even if he's able to maintain that 10-second gap, Twist will come out of the pits roughly 10 or 12 seconds behind, and that's quite a lot of time to make up. And if it gets to, if Twist just catches him in the final lap or two, then he might not have enough tire life left on a set of super softs. As we've seen Konzo make a move on Ali Montine, that's been building for a little while. Konzo just pressuring there and maybe finding out a little bit about the reserve driver, and he's up into fifth. Ali Montine fighting back through the fast right and left. He's really close to Konzo. He's going to have a little look down the inside. No, he doesn't. Might just be trying to avoid battling with one of our series drivers.
If Ali Montine wants to go on the guys in front of him, there's like a gap of 6 seconds from Alan to Shumi, so...
Hold on, we got Slimbo Dude and Drew side by side. Slimbo on a set of medium tires. I think Drew is as well. And Slimbo had a little bit of misfortune at the start of the race. He tries to go around the outside of the hairpin. That's a ball move. He's pushed off of the track, I think, by Drew there, and is unable to get past. So Drew fighting really, really hard for this position. And we've seen Slimbo Dude in the last few races. He's been very, very quick. So he's having another look down the inside now, and he's side by side coming into this left-hander. difficult corner to overtake at. He's run maybe a little bit deep, but Drew has run even deeper. He's on the curb, and that has cost him the chance to defend that position. I'm getting quite a lot of lag off of Drew's car as well, so yeah, that may have had something to do with Slumbo being pushed off earlier.
Alan is stuck behind Konzo. Maybe he's trying to stay behind him and get the arrest to catch the guys in front of him, knowing that Konzo will be fast. Oh, he's a fast driver, so maybe that's something Alan is trying to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that Alan will be aware of Konzo's successes in this league, and will think, okay, well, if I'm stuck behind you, that's not too bad, because, well, you're going pretty quickly anyway. But the other thing as well is that Uzi, who was right up behind Ali Montine at the start of this stint, has dropped quite a long way back. He's dropped back about 7 seconds on this pair now, so he went for an undercut. He almost made it work, but it wasn't quite enough, and now it seems like these older tires are costing him.
I think the grid is almost spread out now. It's calmer than the race car. So it's about Schumi, Garcia, and Pistorialty, and what's going to happen between those two guys in terms of strategy. And if Schumi will take those mediums to the end, will manage those tires well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's always good when you've got different strategies going on in races, so that when your cars are apart, there's still plenty going on between different drivers as they're on the different strategies. And yeah, once again, Schumi is just holding that gap at about 10 seconds. He's doing what I think he needs to. Twist is going to have a lot of ground to make up in the final laps of the race. But he is going to have to worry about Hindle behind him, who has just come out of the pits on a fresh set of the medium tires. He'll be going to the end, and I mean, is Schumi going to fight this? That's an interesting question. Hindle, one of our series drivers, so I don't know. I mean, should Schumi fight this? I'm not sure.
I don't think he should. It's not his race is not with Hindle, so maybe let him pass, stick behind him, get some DRS, some straight line speed. That can be good.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with you there. I mean, he's really racing Twist for this win out of the reserve drivers, so yeah, I think he's got to recognise that and maybe just let Hindle go so that he doesn't end up compromising his own race. But now I think Ali Montine is being compromised by Konzo here. He's 3/10 behind him, and he's really got to look for a way past. He's currently how far behind Schumi Garcia is Ali Montine? Roughly, got about six and a bit seconds. So if he's able to get past Konzo here, he might be able to get after Schumi. But I mean, Konzo is incredibly fast in a straight line. He's clearly got a low downforce setup on here, as we have seen Hindle get past Schumi Garcia. So Hindle is through, and now Schumi has just got to settle in and continue looking after these tires.
I think Schumi has heard us and let Hindle by to stick behind him.
Yeah, I did miss the pass. Did it look like Schumi was just letting him go?
Yeah, he gave him like
whoa! SPL Mali Kekech, one of our series drivers, going for a spin. He's lost the car. I think he may have lost the car twice in that sector. So he's dropped a long way back. Yeah, carry on, Nightwalker.
Yeah, I'm just watching Uzi. He looks like he's running a very low downforce setup because he's getting so much oversteer coming out of some corners, and he keeps going off track, and he's made a pit. So I don't think the tyre should be affecting him that much. So it's a strange one because Fletcher Boy is catching him up now. He's about 1.2 seconds behind Uzi.
Yeah, this is Fletcher Boy with half a front wing as well. You can see the understeer still he's got with that. He really needed to change that in the pits, but yeah, I'm sure that he'll keep that in mind perhaps at the next race. We have lost a couple of drivers. SPL Mali Kekech retiring from the session. Also Drew leaving. I believe that he had to leave early anyway. I think he's got to go to work. So that was always going to be the case at some point this evening for him. But yeah, I mean, Uzi perhaps struggling on these tires now. He put them on, I think it was lap 6 or 7 he went to these soft tires, so they'll be getting towards the end of their life.
Interestingly, Twist has gained like 2 seconds on Schumi, so Twist is now pushing hard, knowing that his stop will come like in 3 laps time, so he needs to put a gap.
As we've also seen, Slimbo retired from the session. He had some wing damage from something, and he's pulled over as well. So his race is over. Going from a win in China to a retirement here in Bahrain, that's going to be a disappointment for Slimbo dude. So yeah, he's unfortunately out of this race. But yeah, I mean, I did see that the gap is up to about 12 seconds between Twist and Schumi now. I mean, if you were in Twist's shoes, would you go for a set of softs at the end, maybe pit soon, or would you run it longer and go supers?
No, supers. I'd go to lap 20 and put supers, because those supers will last those 9 laps, especially on on lighter fuel load, so the tire wear will be less.
Nightwalker, what are you thinking?
In the pits. Twist Royalty is pitting already, so we're just going to wait to see what tyres. He's going to put another set of the soft tyres on.
Clearly disagrees with you, Roadrunner there. I believe you could, well, perhaps you have an opportunity to question him on that choice. On the podium, does look like he will be finishing up there this evening, as we've got Ali Muntean in the pits as well, as he's waiting in the pits for his stop-go penalty that he got at the last pit stop for speeding, and he goes onto a set of, is that the mediums?
It is the mediums, yeah. Strange decision.
Yeah, that's an odd one. He's gone for a 2-stop while still using the medium tires. So I'm not sure if he didn't have another set of soft tires available to him, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that choice.
Well, you can see on my screen that he has the softs, but on the leaderboard it shows medium. So it's a bit tricky to know which tires now.
Yeah, he's on the mediums. I believe that's the case for both myself and Nightwalker. So yeah, this is a bit of a recurring glitch that we've got. As we've got Twist Royalty, he's got Calzo in front of him. Calzo winning the World Series race in China last week. Great performance from him, but Twist has got to find a way through Calzo here. He's 6/10 behind, and I mean, he's got a lot of ground to make up on Schumi, because okay, he might be roughly 10 seconds behind Schumi at the moment, but he's also got 2 cars between him and the Ferrari. So yeah, I mean, you've got Calzo and Conzo, the 2 brothers, between Twist Royalty and a potential win tonight. We'll see if he's able to get the move done on Calzo along the back straight. Calzo's not playing playing nice to Twist Royalty. He is going to go defensive. Although Twist is able to be much later on the brakes, he does go up the inside, so perhaps Calzo going back to the racing line too quickly there. Now Twist has got a better run out of turns 2 and 3. He's going to have a look down into turn 4 once again, following Calzo for a little bit of that slipstream. Calzo goes to cover, or goes to the racing line. Twist going down the inside again, but he's not quite got the traction to be able to make it through. So yeah, I mean, this is really holding up Twist Royalty. Now he has to get past Calzo quickly. Is he going to be able to do it down to the hairpin? Goes for a switch back, but he loses the car just a little bit on traction there, and that costs him an opportunity to get the move done.
I think this fight is making him lose the race. Pitting that early for his softs instead of taking it to lap 20 and putting a super soft. Yeah, because if he waited like 3 laps more, put in the super softs, he wouldn't have went out behind the Sauber brothers. He's losing a lot of time, and he's damaging his front tires.
Ooh, almost into the back of Calzo there through the penultimate corner. We can see the Twist clearly quicker, but as we look on this straight, it almost looks as if Calzo is pulling away from him in front. Clearly with some phenomenal straight line speed, as Fletcher picks up a 3-second time penalty, as Calzo heads for the pits. So that has released Twist Royalty, and Conzo has been into the pits as well. So now he's got clear track. He's 10 seconds behind Schumi Garcia, and he's got 9 laps to do it. He's got softer tires, he's got faster tires. Twist Royalty has got to get his foot down. I believe this is hammer time right now. He's got to get after him.
Come on, boy, you can do it.
He's already taken 7/10 out of him in the first sector of this lap alone, so clearly Twist showing some a real turn of speed here. Both Konzo and Calzo out on the super soft tires. I think they'll go for a fastest lap, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, Twist Royalty is 9.7 behind in 9 laps. Is that... Oh, well, it's a little more than a second lap. Do you think that's doable?
With space, yes.
Right, Walker, what are your thoughts? Do you think Twist is going to run him down?
Yeah, I got a funny feeling. I'm just on board with Schumi Garcia, and he's losing a couple of attempts on some quite low downforce corners, so maybe he's running a quite a high wing. So he's losing time, and I think maybe his strategy weren't the best call.
It's interesting. He did go for these medium tires on lap 9, and that is a long way to go on a single set of tires. Very, very difficult to make that sort of strategy work here in Bahrain. It's always had high tire wear, as we've got Fletcher Boy being passed by Konzo, and he's just let him go. He's just let Konzo go, and I think that's a smart move for Fletcher. He's got medium tires, they're much older, and he's only got half of a front wing still, so yeah, he's not going to get in Konzo's way. He knows he's not going to be able to hold that position.
Twist is not catching up to Schumi that much. In the last lap he caught like by 1 second, but now I think Schumi is trying to manage his pace and manage his tires to the end. So maybe playing it smooth, lean mix in sector 2 in those slow corners, and then trying to push on the straights where going to the maximum mix, the rich mix.
Yeah, and one thing that's happened throughout all of that is that despite the broken wing, Fletcher has found himself up into effective P3 of the reserve runners. He's got Ali Montine sitting about 11 seconds behind him, but Ali Montine going for the medium compound tires. I'm not sure he's going to have enough to be able to catch Fletcher by the end of this race. I think that he needed to go for a softer option there.
Yeah, he should have.
So we'll see if Ali's able to run that down. Twist is closing this gap. We're at 8.6, but I feel like it's got to be more than this. It's been a little less than 2 seconds over the last 2 laps, and I think it's got to be more than that if he wants to catch Schumi Garcia.
The interesting thing with Schumi Garcia is actually catching Hindle. So he's gaining a couple of attempts per sector on Hindle, so maybe Schumi Garcia's still got a bit of tyre life left in them tyres.
See, now that's something interesting, because I mean we know Hindle was very, very close to the series championship last year, took it all the way to Abu Dhabi, and then there was the heartbreak of that disconnection for him. And I mean, if Schumi Garcia is, well, not just keeping up, but perhaps catching Hindle, that's maybe a sign to some of the reserve teams saying, hey, you know, if you're missing a driver and you need a replacement, perhaps this guy's someone that you should look at.
Yeah, it seems to be nice on his tires. So he was managing his pace the last couple of corners, and now he's pushing just to maintain the gap to Twist.
I think perhaps in the last couple of laps he may drop off quite a lot. Again, that strategy is right on edge in terms of tire wear, so we'll see if he's able to keep those medium tires in good enough condition. But I think right now it looks as if, so long as he avoids a puncture, he's in a good spot to win this race. As we've got Calzo passing Fletcher, and Fletcher's not fought that one either. He's really trying to, well, he's just trying to avoid anything that will cost him time, because he's got Ali Montine running him down. I'm sure he's aware of that. And yeah, I mean, he realizes again Calzo's on super softs. He's got, you know, he's only got half a front wing, so he's not going to fight that too hard.
A wise thing to do. So the race has settled down. We need to see if Twist can catch up to Schumi Garcia, and the gap is not dropping much to Schumi, so I think Schumi has it in the bag already.
Yeah, well, we have a little quiet spot here. Why don't we have another hearing of the question of the day?
Yeah, so everybody have heard that Alfa Romeo is coming back to F1 next year with Sauber. It's gonna be Alfa Romeo Sauber. The question is, which year did Alfa Romeo take their podium, the last podium as a works team? So which year did Alfa Romeo take their last podium as a works team?
See, I don't even know this. Nightwalker, have you got a guess, perhaps, for question of the day there? Last podium for the Alfa Romeo Works team?
I have not got a single clue for that.
Not got a single clue. Gee, I'm trying to think of the last time the Alfa Romeo were actually a works team at all in Formula One. I'm gonna say, I'll go for a guess because I don't know the answer. I'm gonna say 19... I know that they were there in the 50s. I don't know if they were in Formula 1 in the 60s. I'm going to say 1959. That'll be my guess. So yeah, maybe that'll give you a ballpark maybe to aim for, Nightwalker, but who knows, I might be off by about 30 years.
well, Fangio was the last one to take the championship with them. They were like Ferrari, Alfa Romeo. So
well, that's championship though. That's not last podium. So that might be a little bit of a red herring there from Roadrunner. He's been known to throw them out for the questions of the day, but that's part of what makes it fun. I
think Twist Royalty is actually starting to put the hammer down now and try and catch Shumi Garcia. He's gaining quite a bit of time on him at the moment.
Yeah, gap's down to 7.3, but he's only got 5 laps left. He needs to be pulling this in at, well, almost 2 seconds a lap if he wants the opportunity to overtake at the end. It really needs to be at that sort of 2 second a lap region now. So he's doing a good job of hitting that apex there. But yeah, I mean, once again, we're seeing this from Schumi. He's holding that gap to Hindle out in front at, between 2 and 3 seconds. And yeah, I mean, that's very, very impressive, I've got to say.
Catching is one thing, but overtaking is another. So even if you catch the guy in front of you, you need to think about him defending. So it's not gonna be easy, especially that the softs will almost reach their like 40% of the tire wear, and Schumi is on the medium. I think he's gonna be around 60% of those. So Schumi will give him a hard time defending his position, and I think Twist is now, yeah, the hammer is down. Hammer time.
Yeah, just looking at the a little bit at the strategies here. So we've had Hindle and Shumi Garcia on one stops. Also Fletcher Boy with that broken wing. He's dragging that car around to the end of the race. He's currently sat in P3. Alimentine 7 seconds behind. Got a lot of work to do if he wants to make that up. And then we've got on the 2-stop. You can see that there. Twist is currently our leading 2-stop runner. He's doing his best to try and run down Shumi Garcia. He is bringing that gap down a little bit, but as of right now, it's not quite enough.
No, I think Twist has taken the wrong path. Again, as I said, if I were him, I would have taken my to lap 20, especially that he pitted on lap 10. So 20 laps on 10 laps on those softs is doable. And taking the super softs on 9 laps in the end, that's also doable, and he'll have lots and lots of tire life.
Down to 6.3 seconds now, but there's only 4 technically laps remaining, so yeah, he's going to need, I think Twist has really got to hope that Schumi has an issue. Schumi there just, he's holding on nicely. He's falling off a little bit from Hindle now, but his tires are quite a lot older, and he's just got to be, I mean, if you're Schumi Garcia at this point in the race, you've got to be sat there just focusing everything you have on saving those tires, and making sure that they get to the end, because it looks like Twist won't have quite enough left in the tank to catch him. Alimentine is taking the seconds off Fletcher fairly quickly, but that might be another one that's close at the end. It's down to 6 seconds now. It was well over 10 seconds just a few laps ago. So Alimentine, a bit of an odd strategy choice, I would say, to go for the medium tires, but he is catching Fletcher.
Any penalties for Shumi or Twist?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think that Twist had a stop-go, but did he serve that in the pits? I think he served that in the pits.
Because that might play a role in the result. If Shumi has like a 3-second penalty or a 6-second penalty, and Twist is trying to bring the gap to less than 6 seconds, praying that Shumi has a penalty. We have to check that out.
No, Shumi has no penalties.
Excellent.
So Shumi's got nothing, so it really is just that gap on track then, and Twist, it's down to 5.8. It's just not enough. And I think that perhaps what's happened is he's tried, he's gone on those soft tires. He's tried to make the most of it, but he's come out of the pits right behind Calzo, and he was just unable to get past for a couple laps there, and that maybe cost him the best life of those tires trying to get past him. He's maybe used up what sort of grip that he had early on. So yeah, I'm sure we can ask him about that after the race, but Ali Montin has just taken another 2 seconds that lap off of Fletcher. I think he might catch him.
Well, if you take a look at Shumi's tires from the onboard, you can see that the front left has some blistering. So I think a puncture is on the card here. So he needs to nurse that front left.
Yeah, I can definitely see the just the slight differences in color there between the two sections of the front left tire. A little bit of that effect on the right hand side as well. Those tires looking very, very worn. Twist Royalty's tires also looking quite worn. So yeah, I think he's taken quite a lot out of them in this final stint. The gap is at 5.8, and now this gap it's not even coming down anymore. It's Shumi's maintaining it.
I think it's over unless Shumi has a puncture or does the major mistake. So.
Yeah, it's
well,
got to
Ali
be.
Montin is running in high fuel mode, so he's on the rich mixture, and he's chasing down Fletcher Boy, and I think he's gonna get him maybe on the last lap.
Down to yeah, we'll go for that one moment. 2.8 seconds in 2 laps. It is possible. I will say that we generally don't use the fuel mixtures on the commentary, just in case any of the drivers are listening. Don't want to give away too many strategic advantages to these guys. But yeah, I mean, it is an interesting point. I'm pretty sure that both Ali Montin and Twist have been in rich fuel mix for, well, probably about the last 8 laps or so. I fully expect them to be at this point.
Do you think Twist Royalty just took too much out of the tyres too soon?
Yeah, I think that's what's happened. I think he's gotten stuck behind Calzo, and he's been unable to pass. Calzo was so fast in a straight line that Twist perhaps used the best of those tires, perhaps overheated them a little bit in his efforts to get through, and then just didn't have the tire life left to really chase after Shumi.
I think Alan Montin is gonna put a move on Fletcher towards the last couple of corners, because he's catching him like hell. He's like 1.5 seconds behind him now. And remember that Fletcher has a front wing damage, so it will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, Ali Montin has taken 1.5 seconds out of him on this lap already, as Fletcher's run a little bit wide out of the penultimate corner there. And that has put Ali Montin within the DRS zone for the final lap of the race. He is going to have a really good opportunity here. That mistake just allowing him into that DRS zone. Fletcher running a little bit wide through the final corner once again.
Fletcher has a penalty also, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if Ali Montin does. I won't ask if he does or not, as we've got quite a good battle going on here. But he is within half a second now in the slipstream of Fletcher. But we saw Fletcher was very fast in a straight line earlier on, and that will help him defend. Ali Montin closing right up under braking. He's got to pull the move here, because even if he doesn't have a penalty, he's not going to know about Fletcher having a penalty, and perhaps Ali Montin has a penalty as well. So yeah, I believe up front it is looking like Shumi Garcia is going to take the win here. Just shout at me very quickly if anything happens with Ali Montin and Fletcher. But yeah, Shumi Garcia coming to cross the line and take the win out of the series reserves in Bahrain. Twist Royalty will cross the line in effective P2. We're not too worried about Hindle. He's one of the he's one of the World Series drivers, so he won't be on the podium today. As Fletcher is attempting to defend from Ali Montine. This is for position number 3, a step on the podium, and Ali Montine is right behind him. And Fletcher has run wide. He's made a critical error on the final lap of the race as they go side by side down towards the final corner. Is Ali Montine going to stick the nose up the inside? Of course he is. It's at the final corner. He's got a better run, and they're going to be side by side on the way to the line. Ali Montine, oh, that's a terrible camera angle, or Fletcher, and Fletcher has the straight line speed to take the lead, but Fletcher has a penalty. Fletcher has a penalty, so Ali Montine is on the podium. Phenomenal finish between those two, just about half a car length apart. So fantastic stuff between those guys. Unfortunately, my camera has been locked on Ali Montine there, but yeah, I believe we will have Yuzi coming home in 4th place, and Box is in 5th. Farthball we lost a little bit earlier on. He disconnected from the session. Fantastic finish from those two.
Yeah, Alan did a fantastic drive to close the gap to Fletcher. Regardless of if Fletcher had a penalty, it was a nice fight.
Yeah, really, really excellent stuff from those drivers, and yeah, I mean, we saw, you know, that's a great win for Shumi Garcia, pulling off that one-stop strategy. I'm sure that we'll hear all about that on the podium, but I'll give you the final rundown of the race results. Hindle, he was the first to cross the line, but we're not too worried about him. He's one of our series drivers. So we've got, out of the reserve drivers, Shumi Garcia and Twist Royalty were the top 2. Then we got a couple more series drivers in Konzo and Calzo. Then Ali Montine, he did actually have a penalty. However, Fletcher had a lot of penalties. Yeah, it says 16 seconds. I believe it is just 11. There is a slight issue with some of the penalties showing in the final screens because of, well, if you have an unserved stop and go, then it can cause some problems there. But yeah, Fletcher having quite a lot of penalties. Uzi comes home what is effective P4 but 8th on the track, and then our final finisher was Box, who ended up a lap down on those guys. Tough race for him, but yeah, I mean, what a great finish between those two. Okay, we'll be ready for the podium interviews in a moment. Roadrunner, would I be able to get you to invite Shumi Garcia, Twist Royalty, and Ali Montine to the party?
Let me see if I have them. Shumi Garcia.
You should be able to type them in if you don't have them as well. Yeah. If not, then I can do it.
No, I don't have them.
Okay, so this stream will go blue for a moment, just as I get our podium sitters in, and then we'll be back just in a minute. Okay, and we should be back now. I believe we have lost Nightwalker from the comms box. I think he might have disconnected as he's suddenly vanished from online, so I think we may have a disconnection there. Fortunately, that happened after the race as he was the host. So, yeah, I believe we got Twist and Shumi in now. We'll wait for Ali Montine. just give him another minute or two. But yeah, I mean that was a phenomenal finish between that pairing. Really fantastic stuff between those guys. So yeah, if we're able to get Alimontin in, that will be fantastic. However, we'll just give him another 30 seconds or so, and if not, then we will get started with the podium interviews. Okay, I'll just take this moment to remind our podium sitters here to make sure your microphone is set to allow to be shared for the podium interviews. So if you guys could get that sorted, that would be fantastic. Roadrunner, I will allow you to lead the questions and get first shot on all the good ones for our race winner, Shumi Garcia.
Congratulations to everybody, to the guys who finished on the podium, and for everybody who joined the race today. Congrats to Shumi, to Twist, and to Alimontin, who is going to join us shortly. Shumi, that was one heck of a one-stop race for you, mate. So, what happened on the start, and talk us through your race?
Well, first of all, good evening. Well, on the start, I had a pretty decent start, and I just got dive bombed by Farfber. Then I thought, well, I'll take it easy, just do my race. I don't know if he was in my league or not. I knew Hinder was coming fast for me, and I just didn't want to battle too much with him and do my race. But at the end of the race, I was pretty keeping up to him, so that wasn't bad. That's not bad. And well, my tire wear was really good. It was about 60% on the last lap, so not that bad.
Did you think of a two-stop today, or one stop was the only way to go today?
No, only the one stop. I don't think the two-stop is better around here. I don't think it's quicker.
Well, that was a nice drive from you, mate. So congratulations on your win today. Curly, if you have any questions.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations. Great drive from you there, Shumi.
Thanks, boss.
I mean, we saw, we did see this last night, that, one of the drivers there also did the same strategy that you did, the super soft and then the medium, but he was very on the limit in terms of tire wear. You were saying that you were just at 60% on the final lap after doing 20 laps on a set of mediums. I mean, do you feel like you've got perhaps a big advantage in terms of tire wear compared to some of the other drivers?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's mostly your driving style. You just got to be smooth. So I think that's what I think.
Just
Normally,
just smooth on the inputs, on the throttle, on the brakes. He definitely mastered that. So yeah, I just want to say, that was a really really great drive to watch, and congratulations for it.
Thank you.
I will ask one other question actually. I mean, after winning tonight, you joined Twist and Slimmo Dude as winners of the Series Reserves races for this season. I mean, we saw towards the end of the race you were staying pretty close to Hindle, and I mean, we know a lot about Hindle and what he's done in the World Series. I mean, if a team were to ask you to reserve, would you say yes? And do you think that you could perhaps, maybe if you were given the opportunity to reserve, that you could maybe repeat a performance like this in the World Series itself?
Yeah, absolutely. But depends on the tracks that I'm good at or not. I don't know what the other guys in this league do with assists, but I do no assists. I just use the line. So I don't know if they are quicker than me or not, but I would be delighted to reserve.
Well, hopefully we get to see that at some point this season. So yeah, once again, congratulations on your win. We'll head across to Twist Royalty. Twisty there.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent stuff. So I want to go back to qualifying. You said a 29.0. What are your thoughts on that lap?
It was decent. I was actually really happy with it.
And when you're really happy with a qualifying lap, I mean, what kind of footing does that, what kind of footing does that put you on for the race? I mean, were you, when you were lining up on the grid and the lights were going on, were you certain you'd win that one?
I was hoping, but I wasn't certain.
And yeah, I mean, just the opening stint of the race. You maintained that lead through turn one, and there was a lot that went on behind. In particular, cars were 3 wide. Farthba went from a long way back up the inside. That first stint, you showed some serious pace and were able to pull away from the field. But I think as the race went on, the advantage that you had in terms of pace over the other drivers seemed to diminish a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on why that was the case, or? Yeah.
It probably was because I went for a 2-stop.
Okay. Roadrunner, give you a chance to ask some questions. I know that you've got one for certain for Twisworley here.
The Iceman. I will be calling him the Iceman because his answers are very short and he's very calm. So a typical Irish. So regarding your strategy, during the race we were discussing the fact that maybe you're gonna go to the super softs in the last stint, but you surprised us pitting in lap 17 or 18 and putting in another set of softs. Did you ever think of maybe taking your tires like a couple of laps more and putting a super soft to be mighty fast towards the end?
No, because my tire wear was pretty bad at that stage.
That was short answer. Thank you for that.
Yep. You're welcome.
Well, you had a nice race, mate. A very solid first stint, as Curly mentioned, and you had a nice race. You were catching Schumi like a second towards the second lap, but towards the end, I think your front tires were a bit worn to do like a further closing of the gap, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like you. Your answers are very straightforward and short. Back to you, Curly.
I'm gonna toss it right back to you because I don't believe that we have Ali Mantine in the comments box here.
Oh, that's a shame.
So unfortunately, he isn't here for the podium interviews. Hopefully, we'll get some of his comments later on, and that can be updated on the Facebook page. But Roadrunner, back to you for the question of the day. I want to hear these answers for it.
Okay, guys. I think everybody in this lobby now was not born for this question to answer this question. Now, all of you have heard about Alfa Romeo rejoining the F1 next year with Sauber, so it's gonna be Alfa Romeo Sauber. The question is, which year did Alfa Romeo take their last podium as a works team? Oh yeah.
All right, Schumi Garcia is the race winner. You got to go first. No googling.
No, about 1957, maybe. I don't know.
All right, 1957 for Schumi Garcia. Twist Royalty, what's your guess?
1972.
1972. All right, I went for 1959. Roadrunner, you got the answer.
I think Twist is close to the answer because it's 1984 with Riccardo Patrese.
Wow, I was 3 decades off, wasn't I? So yeah, that does mean that Twist Royalty is the winner of the question of the day. So that may be some consolation this evening. But yeah, I just want to say to you two, fantastic job on your races tonight, and well done to Ali Mantine as well. So yeah, I mean, Roadrunner, do you have any final thoughts before we close things up?
Well, yeah, congratulations to Schumi on his win, to Twist on his decent run today. Unfortunately for him, he didn't make it for the win. See you guys in a couple of weeks in Russia, I think.
Yep.
It will be an interesting race. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been the World Series Reserves. If you're looking to take part in front row racing and perhaps get involved in this reserve event, check out the Facebook page at Front Row Racing. And if you're looking to watch a little bit more of these races, we'll have 2 on next week. We will have on Wednesday at 7:30 UK time, we will have the World Championship round 3 here in Bahrain, and then on Thursday we'll have the World Series here in Bahrain as well, to see the main leagues go at it for the 3rd round. So thank you very much everyone for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the race, and yeah, good night from Front Row Racing.